All right. Welcome to the next episode of Herbie Sports Talk. Thank you guys for joining us. As we normally start, guys, make sure to hit us up on our social media feeds, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. This is our very first episode of filming. So we're really sad about that. Make sure to check that out also. So I am Tyler, Big Herbie Herbach. And now you can put a face to the voice if you have been listening. And across the table, as always, from me is the little Herbie.
Little Herbie Travis. How's it going, everybody? Like we've said, if you've been listening to us on Spotify or iTunes up to this point, make sure to check it out on YouTube. This is not more than a podcast now. It's more of a show. We want to turn it into something that's relatable consistently. Right. It's not just a random audio of two guys speaking. You get to know us, you get to understand our opinions and stuff like that.
Right.
So this is a whole different type of experience. So make sure you look at YouTube at the end of the day.
We'd love to get your guys' kind of interactions with us, so we get to know you guys too. It'll be fun. We want to be active with you guys on our social media feeds.
Yeah, so absolutely. So, topic of discussion today for today's episode.
Yep.
We are doing this will basically be the last full NFL podcast episode. As the season's over, if you recall, our first episode ever of the show actually
first one ever
was an NFL preview. We went through and predicted records for all NFL teams and kind of gave our outlook for the season. Season's over, so we're going to go through and do a review, what we did, what we predicted, any shockers or surprises that happened throughout the season.
Yep. This is the first time we've done this where we went through and actually predicted everyone's record.
Yeah.
And we weren't very good.
No, I'll admit. On the AFC side, I went 50%, and then NFC side, I went 25%. So not my greatest achievements here.
Yeah. And we gave us a little leeway. If we were off by a game, we counted it. So okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't spot on. Game upper to the loss or game to the win column, we counted as a pretty accurate as possible.
Cut us some slack. Okay?
Yeah, we're still rookies, guys. So, but let's hop in here and start. I have AFC down on my first.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go with the AFC. I think that's how we started in the first place. Yeah. So, let's start in the East, where we did
AFC East.
AFC East. All right, yeah. We did both predict the correct division winner of Buffalo.
We did, correct.
But we were off on pretty much everything else. I had Buffalo going 11-5. They ended up 13-3. They were much better than even I expected they were going to be this year.
I had 11-5 as well. Right on point. I know one we both nailed was the Patriots. I think we both predicted 8-8 or 7-9.
Yep.
Right in there. So we both nailed that as well. The Jets I did nail.
So did I. Had 2 wins.
I had about 3-13.
Okay.
So I had the one game difference. The Dolphins is what blew everybody out of the water, I think. I put them at 2-14. I was like, there's not a chance.
Oh yeah. I was higher on them than you were. I had them at 5-11. But no, that team is looking good. We've talked a lot about the Dolphins throughout this year.
Oh yeah.
Because Brian Flores just looks like he's a stud.
He is a stud
of a coach. He's got the team going the right way.
Oh yeah. And if he gets you're talking Deshaun Watson trades next year, it might be even another ridiculous season.
Miami, if Deshaun Watson ends up in Miami, that team is going to playoffs with ease, and I think you can label them as a contender. They have so many pieces there already that they become a contender immediately.
So yeah. They could be playoff team next year with even without Deshaun.
Oh yeah, they could. Obviously they still have Tua. We'd assume he's going to continue to develop.
Yeah.
He'll get a little better. He was just a rookie this year.
Yeah.
So
out of the East, I had 2 out of the 4 right within a game of accuracy. And what I did too, I went through and I kind of put down a word or two of an overall describing what I thought of the team.
Okay.
I also throw all these out to you, and if you want to comment, what do you want? For the Bills, I put down diversity. Because we saw towards the end of the year, they were extremely one-dimensional, and they needed to pull in a run game, and they needed to switch up some things. So I said diversity for them. Dolphins, I put down momentum. Because I had them at 2-14. I thought they were done for. They were still a rebuild. I had no shot in them or trust in them. So they're looking good. Like we said, Brian Flores is a huge momentum guy, so I think they're going to continue to build. Patriots, it's the kind of the topic for everybody. I said Belichick or Brady. Was it really Belichick's system that was successful, or was it Brady that made the system successful?
Right.
And more time will tell, not just one season. And the Jets, I couldn't do anything. I literally just put down trash.
Dumpster fire.
I couldn't. There's nothing they could say. At least you fired Adam Gase. That's the best thing you could have done. But
they made my favorite hire of the offseason, bringing in Robert Saleh as a new head coach.
Agreed.
I think he's the one guy that I feel like he's just the one guy who's going to be able to go in there and actually make change.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Agreed. So that's kind of my top words there.
Yeah. I mean, the New England. What happens next year is going to be very dependent on for obviously their quarterback situation, but like they're going to get back a bunch of guys. They had more holdouts for COVID this year than any other team, including big starters on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll see, but they got to start to draft better. They've been drafting pretty poor in the last few years.
Yeah,
and it's easy to see that when there's just no speed on this team.
Yeah, I mean their drafting at skill positions has always been lackluster. Yeah. They're great at getting your core guys, offensive line, defensive line, maybe a linebacker here and there. But their core guys, receiver to running back to cornerback to safeties, those skill positions have never been a great drafting.
No, I mean, and they do pretty good at bringing in free agents but they're always like the diamond in the rough, Chris Hogan, Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, those kind of guys.
Yeah, they're not your top notch guys.
Right, so they absolutely need to get some weapons on the outside to make this offense be able to do anything.
Yeah,
I mean they look pretty pathetic on the offensive side of the ball. So
yeah, and we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, let's move to the north.
Sure, whatever you want to
do. Going to the north. This one was interesting. Baltimore wasn't as good as I expected.
Yeah.
Neither was Pittsburgh. By the beginning, man, they went 11-0 or 10-0 whatever.
Yeah, we can all say that Pittsburgh. It was a fake undefeated type of.
Right.
There was a lot of fluke wins and that are not wins that were not respectable to the 10-0 mantra.
They were eking them out.
Yeah.
They didn't look dominant in like any single one of them, but. So I mean, I had Baltimore going 14-2. That obviously did not happen. Though I think 11-5.
11-5.
Yeah,
I put them down at 15-1. I was really high on them. I thought they were doubted. They were pissed off after losing the playoffs prior year. I was like, they're going to come in smoking hot. They're going to roll everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we expected like third. They talk about this all the time with quarterbacks. Third year leap.
The progression.
Josh Allen literally did that exactly this year.
Perfect.
But yeah, it was like exactly that. And Lamar took a step back.
He did. Yeah, so. But what happened? I mean, it happened. They're still 11-5.
Yeah, it was good. They're still a playoff team. It's not like they're a bad team. But they do got some stuff they need to figure out on offense and how they're going to be more, balanced. They can't run the ball 75% of the game.
No, they can't.
It just doesn't work. So to Pittsburgh, I had them also going 14-2. They went 12-4.
Yep.
Couple games off. We're not counting it.
But I called 11-5, so that's a W for me.
Okay.
On that, they finished at 12-4. So I was looking at that. The Browns, I had them at 10-6, and I had them actually making the playoffs, which they did. I had a good call on that. They finished 11-5.
Yep.
So I nailed that one down.
Yeah, I was a little off on Cleveland. Cleveland, I went 8-8. I had them missing playoffs on that 8. I thought they needed one more year to make that jump. But that's for Cleveland Brown fans out there. I'm sure you're rejoicing that it's here now.
Oh,
Baker Mayfield.
The dog pound.
Baker Mayfield also took a third-year leap this year under Stefanski, so hopefully I can keep going. I did nail the Cincinnati one. Had them going 4-12. They went 4-11-1.
Yeah, actually, I dogged on Cincinnati. I had them at 115. To me, they seemed like the Jets, and like Joe Burrow's coming in. He's a rookie. You're going against a division that's stacked on the defensive line between all three of those teams.
Right.
You're going to get smashed. And he did, and hopefully his knees recovering, seems, as far as we know, is great, which is good for him. Mm-hmm. But he performed better than I actually was expecting him to do. And with all that pressure, because he faced crazy pressure, but he delivered. He showed his talent, his arm talent.
Oh, yeah.
And for being a rookie, his QB IQ was pretty well developed, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean, he was everything we expected him to be coming out. I mean, people were a little concerned because he only had the 1 year of actually playing college football for starting, right. I mean. And so people were a little unsure because of that, but he came out and was a stud. Mm-hmm. He played well. I mean, those 4 wins, you can say Joe Burrow had a very large hand in all of them. So
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and he's also showed the one thing I didn't realize, he was more athletic than I thought he was. Like he can move around some.
Yeah. I don't think he had to show that at LSU, but yeah, he showed his legs off, some speed, and he took a couple of good hits in his first week or two, and then he learned from it.
He got hit a lot though,
yeah.
And and hopefully he does recover well
Right.
and is ready to go for the beginning of next season.
Yeah, and it sounds like he's on track for training camp, which is good to hear.
Yep.
So let me run through my little word game, I'll call it, I suppose. For the Ravens, I had one-dimensional. Similar to the Bills, but Bills still have more diversity where the Ravens don't.
And they were more the Bills are a much more explosive offense, so you don't need to be as balanced when you have that much explosion.
Yeah, you can take a little more risk there. For the Bengals, I put down Burrow. Like I said, he surprised me. He played better than I thought he would. So I think the future is bright if they can put some good pieces around him.
Mm-hmm.
Browns, future. Baker Mayfield, the big steps, Stefanski, and then the chemistry, offensive defense, drafting, and development has gone great for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for the future right now. And then the Steelers, I put down old. Because they're extremely old, not just out of Big Ben, but kind of in a general sense as a team. They're one of the oldest average age teams in the league.
Right.
And if they need to, in the way the game is played now, they cannot play that way anymore.
Yeah, I mean they need to figure out something on the offense too. Something was missing in the offense. Juju seemed to kind of take a step back this year.
He did, yeah.
Not as dynamic as he was previously. It's harder obviously now because he's the true number one receiver there.
Yeah.
And before they had AB and AB was number one, and that's where his double coverage went. So
yeah,
he's gonna have to figure that part out. And they did actually. Next year, the Pouncey brother that they had, he's retiring.
Yep.
Big Ben, he expects to come back. They said they're going to restructure his deal because otherwise he was owed like $42 million this year.
Yeah, I think he wants to leave on a good legacy note, not on I want my money and retire type of note.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It seems like so.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like that. He can be arrogant and whatnot, but he's not like that kind of a.
He's not that bad.
Yeah, that big of a dick. So. But I think Pittsburgh still has the better chance of getting the title next year than Baltimore does. But I'm kind of leaning just after this season. It seems like Cleveland is primed to win the division next year.
Yeah, they absolutely could take them out, definitely. So, that right for me. North, let's head to the south.
Yeah, let's go to the south.
Go down south.
Heading down south. All right. So we were all so wrong with Houston.
Oh yeah.
I think probably most just analysts in general were wrong on Houston. I mean, they went 4-12, I believe it was.
4-12. Yeah. My heart hurts. My heart hurts. This was like by far my worst blunder of the whole all 32 teams. My worst one by far. And I don't even repeat the record I predicted. I don't even want to say it.
You have to. You got to let the people know how bad you are.
I was so high on Deshaun Watson, and I was like, they're going to get it together. They're going to pull it off. And I was like, they're going to win the division. And I had them at 14-2, and just it hurts.
Josh is like, they're going to the Super Bowl.
It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yes, so blew that one entirely.
I was off too. I mean, I wasn't. I had them going 9-7. And I was still well off of that mark, but
yeah, that was a rough one for me.
All right, so let's move to Indy. I had them going 10-6. They finished 11-5.
Yeah, you were.
I got a W.
You got a W on that. That's a big old fat L for me too.
Yeah, you thought they were gonna be trash.
I had them at 4-12. I didn't think Phillip Rivers, with his age and his capability, could come in and lead that offense and even fit into the personnel that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But he surprised me, and so yeah, that was another L on my books there.
Yeah, I thought Phillip Rivers going to the Colts was going to be huge for the Colts, which it was.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't as good as I thought they'd be. Obviously I was correct on what they went out by games. So, they were good, but there was just I thought the offense would be even better.
Yeah.
I thought that they would make a little more noise in the playoffs than they did.
Yeah, they didn't.
They bowed out pretty quickly
to
they did. The Bills. It is what it is. Obviously, they have a new quarterback coming in. We'll get to we'll touch on that towards the end here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Indianapolis is, I think, working towards something. I mean, they have so many good pieces. They just need to kind of, if Carson Wentz becomes the guy they hope he is, like that team is going places.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the Jaguars, by far the worst team in the league this year.
Yep.
I have at 4-12. Obviously, I didn't really expect much of them, but they were worse. I thought Minshew Mania might pull off some wins like he did the first year around.
Well, they didn't really give him a chance. They pulled him pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think they had multiple QBs in and out of that. But they finished at 115, just completely abysmal.
Yep. I actually got another W on this one. I had him going 2-14.
Oh, dang.
Yep, I was right there. I did pretty good in this division.
I did pretty bad. The only one I got was the Titans here. I had them at 10-6. They finished 11-5.
Yeah, see, that's the one I got wrong. And I'm a Titans fan. I had them going 8-8.
Yeah. So yeah, I went 1-4 in this division.
Okay, I went 50-50.
50-50,
so,
not bad.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst. Probably my best division. Just in terms of like overall feeling. So
right.
Next year, just off your top of your head, I mean, you got like Indy winning the division easily, or do you think Tennessee still has a chance?
I think it's going to be a 50-50 for Colts, Tennessee.
Okay.
Carson Wentz is reuniting with Frank Wright real quick, and as his QB coach of the Eagles when he was at his playing as all-pro type of level. Mm-hmm. So it could play well, but I think his reputation is a little shattered right now still with the reports from the teammates from Philadelphia, and his confidence still needs to regain. So there's no guarantee he returns right back to how he was with Frank Wright as a QB coach.
Right.
But he'll definitely make another leap forward. But then again, the Titans have been consistent 2 years in a row now, made themselves a factor in the AFC playoffs, and I don't expect them to take a step back. So really, I think it's just dependent if Carson Wentz goes back to his old all-pro days, or if he needs a season to get in the groove again.
Right.
So it'll be close though.
It did seem like with Carson Wentz, it's gonna be one of those things like he's either gonna build up or it's gonna be an absolute train wreck.
Yeah. So we'll see. Word game real quick before we move on to the AFC West here. Texans rebuild. I mean, obviously we know that Deshaun Watson crap, JJ Watt's gone, rebuild, new GM, new head coach. Let's not worry about it. The Colts, I put on Wentz, like we just mentioned. I mean, he's going to make or break this team this year, and there's nothing else to say. Jags lost. I mean, hopefully Urban Meyer can go in there and put some identity, some culture to it.
Well, and don't forget about Trevor Lawrence.
And Trevor Lawrence more likely to them.
I mean,
I don't see why he wouldn't, but you never know.
I'm 99.9% sure they're drafting Trevor Lawrence.
I think everybody can say that, but it doesn't mean it happens. But the loss, hopefully, they need some identity and some culture there with Urban Meyer. And then Titans, I put down explosiveness. They showed it a little bit. AJ Brown, correct, the big receiver, starting to show off a little bit. Hopefully Ryan Tannehill can stay consistent and hit it, and they can open that offense up more, so it's not just Derrick Henry 30 pounds a day,
right,
30 rushes a game,
right, which is good. I mean, that's the way the offense works. But I mean, they do have some explosion. AJ Brown's a beast, honestly. He's great. I mean, he outruns people on the deep shots, but like he catches it short. And he runs like a running back when he's on like these receiver screens. Like he breaks more tackles as a receiver than I can ever remember anybody else doing.
Yeah, absolute monster.
And then with Tennessee also, they got to focus on the defensive side of the ball because their defense, they had the worst pass rush in the league this year. And that's after they brought in Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, it didn't seem like he was a factor.
Yeah, he wasn't. He got hurt again. Missed a bunch of seasons. They also brought in Vic Beasley. They ended up cutting him midway through the season.
Yeah, he's had a rough go around in the NFL.
So I mean, they got a lot of work to do on the defense side of the ball before they become like Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's hit the last division here in the AFC West. This was my best division. I actually went 3 for 4 here.
Nice.
I was pretty on top here. So we'll start with the Chiefs, obviously. Division winners, back-to-back Super Bowls, even though they lost, but back-to-back appearances. I had them going 13-3. They finished at 14-2. So they're right there at the top. Number 2 in the division was the Raiders. I had them 8-8. They went exactly 8-8.
Yep.
So that was a nail. Number 3 would be the Broncos. I had them at 5-11. They went 5-11. Perfect there again. And the Chargers, I had them at 4-12. They went 7-9. Herbert showed a little bit more.
Herbert was a stud.
He was a stud. He showed a lot more poise and talent level than I was expecting, and so they pulled off some extra W's. But yeah, 3 for 4 for me. Not bad.
Actually, I also went 3 for 4.
Did you? Nice.
The only one I missed was the Chargers. I had them 4-12, and obviously.
Okay, yeah, we were right there.
I was a little off on Las Vegas. I had them going 7-9, but 1 game off, and I had Denver going 6-10, 1 game off there too.
Yeah, you're right there with it.
And actually 1 game off for Kansas City too, because I had them going 13-3.
Yeah, pretty much dead on. I mean, there's not much. You can't really say much outside of the Chiefs that the whole division's in a rebuild. Either in a rebuild or trying to come out of a rebuild.
Las Vegas isn't necessarily in a rebuild. I don't know. They seem like unless something major changes, it kind of seems like they're going to be in just like
limbo.
Yeah, they're going to be like this state of mediocrity for years to come if they don't figure out something else.
Yeah,
because it's just not coming together. Like
it's just not. And from like my word game, I put down Gruden and Carr. Is Gruden going to let Carr be the leader of the team and do it, or is he going to ship Carr out? Because there's been rumors with Mariota stepping in for a little bit, all this nonsense. Is Gruden going to be the man? And he's going to just let's just do it my way, or is it going to work between the two of them?
I think it does work between the two of them a little bit. I think it's, or for the most part, I think they do. They seem like there's rumors, but it seems like they do get along just fine. I mean, Mariota. It's not like Mariota came in. Like it's not like they benched Carr for Mariota. Carr got hurt. Right. That's why Mariota was playing. And yeah, Mariota looked great, but he's not the same quarterback Derek Carr. Derek Carr is the more talented quarterback.
Yeah, true.
I mean, he's shown that.
True.
I don't know. There's just a lot that Las Vegas still needs to do to bring this together. A lot, especially on the defense side. They've had awful defenses for years now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For a very long time. So that's going to be the biggest thing that has to change. Obviously, you have the second best tight end in the league, Darren Waller. I mean, that dude catches everything. He's basically a receiver out there.
Yeah.
He's great. I mean, and then you have Josh Jacobs in the backfield. So you have pieces on the offensive side.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. Nelson Aguilar balled out this year.
He was a good steal. He was a good pickup from them.
And then you also have the speedster that I'm forgetting his name, that came out of Alabama.
Yeah. I'm forgetting his name too, but I think everybody probably knows who you're talking about.
Yeah, their first round pick last year.
Henry Ruggs?
Yeah, Henry
Ruggs
Ruggs.
the third.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, so I mean, their offense has pieces.
Yeah.
It's again the defense side of the ball.
True. So I mean, the Broncos for me, I put down rebuild. They're lost, like almost like how I said to the Jags, but they're more talented to win games at least. And they need identity. They need pieces. They need
a quarterback.
Yeah, that too. Drew Lock's not going to cut it.
No, he's not.
So, the Chiefs, I put down found a weakness. They seemed like they got exposed in the Super Bowl a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Which I mean, if you haven't seen, Super Bowl preview was our last actual episode of the podcast. If you want to check out a full game episode of that, found a weakness, and we'll see how they address that in the offseason and changes they can make scheme wise. It seems like.
Right. I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, Fisher probably won't be ready to go by the beginning of training camp because he tore his ACL so late. His Achilles, right? It was an Achilles tear.
I think it was an Achilles.
Yeah, so there's a chance he doesn't play at all next year.
That's a high chance too.
Yeah, I mean, so they gotta get some recruits in here on the offensive line.
Yeah,
they're gonna need it because you can't have Patrick Mahomes. You gotta protect Patrick Mahomes. Period. You're paying him $500 million.
Yeah, I mean the dude's the best QB we've seen in I don't know how long.
Yep.
Like, I mean, in all facets of the game, not just one particular. He's probably the best QB we've seen in a decade or two.
Yeah, I mean the crazy arm talent. I mean, we talked about it, in the post Super Bowl episode of that crazy throw he had, where he's basically parallel with the ground on the ground or with the ground, and he throws the ball on an absolute rope.
Yeah,
I mean, it was perfectly on target. Obviously, the Darrell Williams was an idiot and dropped it, but it's just like there's not another quarterback in the league that realistically can make that throw.
No,
his arm talent's otherworldly, and no one touches it.
No, not even close. Not even close. Last one, Chargers word game here. Herbert shines. Herbert shines.
Well, he's a Herbie.
He's got to fit in.
He's being adopted into the Herbie name.
There you go. So, I mean, as far as we can tell, hopefully him and the new head coach fit well together, and they can keep building and letting him develop. But yeah, we'll see what it turns out there. So, AFC side in total for me, I went 8 for 16, 50%, right on the money.
Nice.
Where did you end up at?
Let me count these up real quick. So I went 3, 2, 2, 2. So I was I think I went the exact same as you did. Oh wait, so 5, 7, 9, 12. That's bad. That's
not right, Tyler. That's not right.
I got 9 out of 16 right.
Okay, so you're a little over.
Yeah, I'm a little over.
Okay. Not bad. 50%. I mean, I'll take it. It's the first preview.
Right.
Next year, I'll definitely come in with a little more.
Well, the
more info. It's to step my game up.
The NFL's made for teams to always go from worst to first. We see that almost every year. And so you just never know what's going to happen with the team. Injuries have played a huge factor for a lot of teams this year.
True.
I mean, I believe you had the Niners in the Super Bowl.
I did, and then they got wrecked.
Well, I mean, injuries do that.
Yeah.
And there's no way of getting around it. So that's just one of those things. The NFL is a fickle bitch.
Well, I guess we'll just leave it at that, huh?
Yeah.
Let's jump over to the NFC side of things.
All right.
And since you mentioned the 49ers, just hit the NFC West.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, I mean, we got the let's see. Okay, Seattle win. I was looking at the wrong side of my paper. Sorry. Seattle went to win the division.
Yep.
12-4. I had them going 11-5.
I had them 12-4. So
I had that one right there. Looks the Rams would have finished second at 10-6. I had them going 12-4. It was a little high on them. I think injuries plagued them a little bit, and Jared Goff seemed like he took a step back.
Well, he's not there no more.
He's not there anymore, so that happened there. Cardinals came in at 8-8. I had them going 7-9. I didn't think they were ready to make that jump with Murray. I think they need another year, and so I was right there for that. Niners, I was high on the Niners, 13-3. I thought they were going back to back. They had a lot of personnel. Their defense was still great. Thought Garoppolo and Shanahan one more year would make another big leap on the offensive side, but injuries just destroyed them entirely. They ended up finishing at 6-10.
Yeah. I mean, they're just like you said, like the injuries just there's nothing you can do about it, and it was all of their every big name on their team went down.
Yeah.
And someone went down, like Nick Bosa went down in
week 1.
Yeah.
First week.
And he's your best defensive player, and you lose him on the very first day. It's in the first quarter. I think it was super early in the game too.
It was quick. I mean, Garoppolo missed half the year. George Kittle missed half the year.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do though on that side of things. So hopefully everybody comes back healthy, and we'll see if they can pick up where they left off prior year.
Yeah. So I split with this one also. I was correct on Seattle going 12-4. That was my prediction, and I had Arizona going 7-9. So I was a game off. I got those two right. I was off on the Rams. I had them going 8-8.
Oh wow! Okay.
At 500. Because I didn't believe in Goff, and the team around. I mean, honestly, I didn't expect the defense to be that good.
The talent around them helped those couple wins there for sure.
Yeah, I mean the defense is stacked.
That might be an understatement.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows now? They have a new defensive coordinator. They do have some free agents on the defensive side that were starters. We'll see if they can keep them in. So that defense could take a step back next year. Right. In that case, then the offense is going to need to step up with Matthew Stafford at the helm.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what that leads them.
Yeah, and then Arizona, I had them 7-9, and then San Francisco obviously off. I was off too. I had them going 11-5. So
there you go.
Got 2. I went 2 for 2.
2 for 4, you mean?
2 for 4. Yeah, 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
As in a win-loss.
Good thing we're not doing mathematics podcast over here.
It's not been my day.
No. It's 2 for 4, 50% for me, 2 out of 4. It's my word game. I like the word game here. I don't know why I like it. It's something I should call it. Coward does quite a bit. He does the 3-word game, or he does the QB game, barely, kind of just overall prediction.
Right.
It seems like it gives a good general sense of the team.
Right. He can describe every game that happened in that week in 2. I think it's 2 words.
2 or 3. Or
I think it's
like
2 words. A 2-word game.
So, but I like it. I kind of took it from him. So whatever.
Well, here comes the lawsuit.
For Seattle, let Russ cook. And in reality, get a hopefully him and the new OC get along great, and they can come to a conclusion that as long you get some diversity in the play calling, the schemes, and let him do his thing, because it was proven good until the defenses figured it out. For the Rams, I put down Stafford. Is he really going to do anything better than Goff is? I think so. I think so too. I agree with you.
I think this is a massive upgrade for the Rams.
Agreed. But who knows if he fits in the scheme? Injuries bearing him. He is 32 and has been smacked around a lot in his career. So we'll see what happens there. Cardinals, Murray needs development. He showed good flashes, but his pocket IQ he can't be scrambling around as much. He needs to just gain some more awareness. And the Niners, injuries. There's nothing else to say except for injuries when it comes down to the Niners.
They just got to bounce back, and that's the only thing they can do. But they do got to figure. Obviously, there's still rumors of them trying to get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
If that happens, that team goes to a completely another level.
Oh yeah, that's an upgrade and a half over Garoppolo.
Oh yeah, for sure. Garoppolo is a serviceable starter, but he's he's just the West Coast Kirk Cousin.
Yeah. That's good. That's a great point.
Like they're basically the same person. Like they're serviceable, but you're not going to win playoff games with them.
No, you're not. So yeah, I mean that's the NFC West there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump to the NFC Least, as we've been calling it all season, or known as the NFC East.
Yeah, I think everyone would call it the NFC Least
at this point.
God, they were so bad.
They were terrible. It was funny. They were so bad. I didn't get a single one right. I went 0 for 4 on all these. They were so off that I couldn't. Like it was impossible to predict any of these. I feel like.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll just run through real quick. I had the Cowboys going 10-6. They finished 6-10. I had the Giants at 3-13. They finished 6-10. I had the Eagles at 11-5 because I thought Wentz would continue. They went 4-11, and then I had Washington at 1-15, and they went 7-9 and won the damn division. Just ridiculous.
The NFC East is always the hardest division to predict anything in because every year it's like they're all over the place. It's like the most bipolar division I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean you can do this for the last decade too. Like the Cowboys be like Tony Romo, great NFL season, then complete crap. Giants either made a Super Bowl or then complete crap. Yeah. And then Eagles would, you could go same thing with Wentz even before Wentz. Great season,
and fall third.
Even Foles had like 11-5 season before Wentz even came into town, and huge season then crap.
And Dallas is the same way. I mean, Dallas can't seem to get out of its own way in terms of if you're going to pay Dak or not. Yeah. And obviously they have their own. Dallas has their own issues in terms of their offensive line is getting old.
Yeah.
And it used to be the best offensive line in the league. But it got old. They had the retirement. The guy who retired early. Like it's just they got to fix a lot of things, and they need to hope that Dak comes back at the level he's playing last year. Because if he doesn't,
you're done for.
Yeah, they really are. So
did you get anything right in this division?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I
feel better about myself.
Yeah. No. I was off also, and I had Dallas 9-7. Obviously. They went 6-10. I had the Giants at 3-13.
Same,
Philly 8-8. I didn't think Philly was gonna be great, but they thought they were gonna be better. And then I was with you with Washington. I thought 2-14. I was like, there's nothing on this.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there, and no, they were great. But that's that's straight Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in, took a team that was just all over the place, like found a center for them and created a culture. Seemed like overnight.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking. I think it goes beyond a culture. They gave them it seemed like they got a purpose finally. It wasn't just you're not just out there playing an NFL game to get some money. You're out there. You're out there to be a team. The camaraderie, the fans, they're all there to support you. All those things added up over the year. For my game here, I put down an incredible story between Alex Smith, which we all probably know about very well, and Ron Rivera's story of the cancer halfway through the season. He battled, beat it, continued, won the division. I mean,
right. Not to mention the name change.
Yeah, to the Washington football team.
There was a lot of drama around this team this year, and them to go to win 7 games on a team that's not that talented.
Yeah. All
this stuff hanging over their head. It's really impressive. That's all the credit to Ron Rivera to be able to keep them focused on just the game. Because a lesser coach. This team would have gone into the cellar real quick.
Yeah.
We would have seen another 0-16.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like I was going to say, I don't think there's another coach that would have the strong will and backbone of Ron Rivera to do anything else. I don't think there's another coach in the league today that you transfer to that team, deal with all the same issues through the season, that produces anywhere near the same result as Ron Rivera was able to. I don't know other coach that's that strong-willed, that great as a leader to pull it off.
I'd say I think Mike Tomlin could do that.
Okay, I'll give you Tomlin.
I mean, it's a short list.
Yeah,
and we're not saying that other coaches won't succeed eventually, but this situation needed a specific type of coach.
Yeah, Tomlin might be the only one that's comparable to Rivera in terms of type of coach,
right?
Personality.
Yeah, so it just takes. There was a very specific person, like Pete Carroll. I don't think could have gone in there and changed it around. Like, sure, and Pete Carroll's a great coach. I don't think Bill Belichick could have gone in there and been able to hold it down like this.
I don't think so either, yeah.
And and those are Hall of Fame coaches. There's nothing against them. Right. I just think there was a very specific type of personality of a coach that had to go in there to take care of that job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Rivera's that guy. Let me go through the rest of the division here real quick then.
Yeah.
Eagles, here comes the hurt. That's what I said.
The hurt.
Here comes the hurt. It will, it's already been reported, if you've been watching NFL news, Jalen Hurts is not guaranteed a starting job. He'll have to compete through either free agency or drafting. So we'll see what comes there. But he showed good signs in his play. So we'll see if he starts. I just assume that he will.
Right.
But we'll move there. For the Giants, I said Jones or bust. Is Daniel Jones going to make the third-year progression leap and be able to actually service the team the way he needs to be at the QB position, or is he going to be a bust? And this next season we'll find out. And the Cowboys, you talked about Dak. I put down sign Dak. They have so many issues, and they're seem like they're so I won't say unorganized, but they're just not confident in the whole system. It
seems disjointed.
Yeah, disjointed. And I think you sign Dak, you're like, okay, this finally we've done 2 years of bull crap of the 10 years and the 1 year deals and the caps, all that crap. Sign him, make him long term, make him here. You're my franchise guy. Let's get the rest of this fixed. Instill some confidence on the team that you have that top tier leader in the organization. Sign him and then see where the rest of where the rest of the pieces fall.
And that's probably what they will do. I'm thinking they should do the opposite. Not because Dak doesn't deserve it. Dak's a good quarterback, and I think he will get paid. But this Dallas team is so poor in so many areas. I think they need to tear it down.
Really?
Yeah. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm going to full rebuild mode.
Wow.
Because they've been stuck in this sure, they were in the playoffs just a year ago, and they actually beat the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And the team showed them to be good, but now, the offensive line seems like it's fallen off a cliff in those 2 years.
Yeah.
The offense, so that's probably why Dak got hurt, because they couldn't protect him. Yeah, I know he was running to the side, but if he was protected, would he even have to roll out?
Yeah, true.
However, the defense is not good. They have a lot of pieces that just don't seem to fit. They got rid of one of their best players last year, in Byron Jones. He went to Miami.
Yeah.
So
stupid move.
They didn't want to re-sign him. That's the thing. Okay, guys. You'll probably see some bit of weird cut and stop thing there. We had some technical difficulties. We're sorry about that.
Yeah.
It is our first video, so won't happen in the future. Promise. We were just finishing up on the NFC East. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure we had basically gone through it.
Yeah, we just finished the war game, so we didn't really miss much on it. We covered all aspects, all 4 teams.
So we're going to move forward to the NFC North.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this is a division that went kind of as expected, it seemed like.
You sure about that? Because I went 0 for 4. I don't think it was as I expected.
Okay, yeah, I got 2 right, I think. Yeah, I got 2 right. All right, I did better than you did.
Yeah, shut up. Run me through it. What you got?
Okay, so I had Chicago going 3-13. Obviously, it didn't happen. They went 8-8.
8-8. Yep.
So
correct.
Off on that one, which I think maybe a lot of people were. They started off 5-0, and everyone was like, "This is the weirdest undefeated team we've ever seen."
Yeah,
because they won a couple games that they absolutely should have lost.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So there's that. Detroit, I had going 8-8. I was off on that one also. They went 5-11.
Yep.
So that's a little rough. I did hit the nail on the head with Green Bay going 13-3.
Dang, nice.
And then I was 1 game off of Minnesota. I'm going 8-8 and went 7-9. So I went 50% on this one. But this division as a whole, I don't know. Sure, I was off on Chicago. Chicago's record was better than they actually were.
Yeah, I think most people would agree with that.
And I thought Detroit would kind of make a bit of a bounce back this year, and they didn't. So
yeah,
but I think for the most part, this division kind of played the way a lot of people probably expected it to.
Yeah, for the most part, I was off. Like I said, I went 0 for 4. The Bears, I had to go 5-11. Like I said, they went better than expected.
Mm.
I think in reality, 5-11 was a solid number for them this year.
It's probably more realistic of what their team was.
Yeah. So, it happens. Whatever. Lions had 2-14. They pulled out more wins than I was even expecting.
Yeah, we were on different spectrums on the Lions.
Yeah, you were high on the Lions, a little bit high on them.
They fell in the middle.
Yeah, they did. The Packers was one for me. I didn't have full faith in Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur in their second season. Not sure I can't remember exactly what my reasoning for it was, or kind of why I had that feeling. I just didn't think they would be on the top of the game like they were.
That's weird thing to do. They went 13-3 the year previously too.
Yeah, so I don't know. Not positive why I thought that. I had them going 10-6. They went 13-3. And the Vikings, I thought they would take a step up. Like the year before, I mean, it was an argument that they had the best talented roster in the league.
Right.
And it was the same argument going into the season. They didn't really lose many players. It was all everybody came back, so they were
except for Diggs.
Except for Diggs, but that was a whole different deal. So yeah, people argue that they were one of the best talented rosters in the NFL, and it was pretty much a fact. I was like, hey, let's see if they can finally pull it together.
Right.
So they beat the Packers a couple times the year prior. They've had a kind of a fight against them. So I had to go on 12-4. I was like, maybe they make the leap. Mm-hmm. They finally get the leap. They went 7-9, blew that one entirely.
Right.
I think at this point if it wasn't already solidified that Kirk Cousins is not the guy, then it's solidified even more now today. So
I mean, they did lose Danielle Hunter really early in the year.
Yeah.
Who's a stud of a pass rusher, but one of the best in the league. So they lost him pretty quickly.
Yeah, they did.
In the year. So they can certainly bounce back. They found someone to replace Stephon Diggs' production immediately with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, absolute stud.
And they have I mean, there's a lot of pieces still on offense. You still got Thielen, you got Jefferson now, you have Diggs and not Diggs,
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook in the backfield.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins, sure, like he's serviceable. Like I said, we're not winning playoff games with Kirk Cousins as quarterback. So I think they needed an upgrade there. But I've thought that's everywhere Kirk Cousins has been. Yeah, like I thought Washington needed an upgrade from Kirk Cousins. Minnesota needs an upgrade from Kirk Cousins. He's just not a guy that I think is going to win big games.
No, he's not. And his career stats prove it on any major game: Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football.
He finally won his first one this year.
He's like, what, 1-11 in his career or something like that range? 1-10? Like, I mean, you can't win on the big stage during the season. You ain't going to win on the biggest stage in the playoffs.
Right.
And there's no way around it. So, I mean, I'll go through my word game. I'm digging the word game. I might keep this for a while. Vikings, I put down time to tear down. Now, it's a good argument that you could just replace Kirk Cousins, keep all the offensive weapons, and see where that takes you. And it will take you to more wins than 7-9. That's almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
But it also depends on. Well, I think this season will tell if the culture and organization is organized from the top down. I think this will be this telltale, like, hey, we have our stuff together. We just don't have the right pieces on the team, or are we gonna see the disorganization, the discomfort that there's not a chemistry going on top to bottom in the organization.
Okay.
So, and I think if you see it, like, they're disorganized, they can't pull it together, they can't figure it out. I think you start looking at rebuild. Time to tear it down and restart.
I don't think they are in a rebuild. They have so many good weapons on the offense is almost set except for Cousins, right? Yeah. The defensive side of the ball, they lost Danielle Hunter. They got old. Harrison Smith is getting older. It's just one of those things. I think that if they can, you probably can't upgrade the quarterback this year unless you maybe can go out and try to get a Dak or something like that.
Yeah, interesting.
So something along that. But then I think if they can build up the defense a little bit more than that has been the last year or so, because they were a good defense just a couple years ago, like a really good defense, and they're just slowly kind of falling down. I think it's happening mostly with age, and they've lost a few pieces too. So I don't think you have to necessarily tear it down. I think Minnesota still has a lot to work with.
Okay, yeah, I mean it's fair. Like I said, it's an argument for both sides. So I think it just depends on how this next season plays out. Packers have put down talented arm. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, him and his arm they're magic. He does what he needs to, and he wins games. The issue is there's something missing when it comes to the playoff time. When it comes to crunch time, they have not been pulling it off. So right now, I mean, they'll win playoff. They'll win regular season games, maybe a playoff game. But right now,
they did go back-to-back NFC Championship games.
You still can't win the big game though. There's still missing pieces. Okay,
I mean, but that's not something to to scoff at like that. Only 4 teams make it to that.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying without the talented arm of Aaron Rodgers is what got him there.
Right.
And without that, there's nothing.
Right. Well, I mean, they need a lot of help on their defense, especially in the secondary. That secondary, I mean,
is garbage.
Jair Alexander is a stud. Everybody else could be replaced.
Probably should be replaced. The Bears, they got to figure out. For me, I mean, they have pieces on offense and defense. They have a decent core. at your key positions. They need to figure out the QB position. Is it going to be Trubisky? Is it going to be Foles? Like, there's no idea what's going to happen there. They got to figure that out.
Yeah.
And get some talent.
Honestly, I don't think either one of them are the question there. But I'm also not sold with the head coach.
Yeah.
I think that I don't know. He has not. He's made weird decisions since he's been there as a coach. Not just like with personnel decisions, but also like in game, play calling, time management, things of that nature. He just seems to be struggling there, and maybe so. I don't know. I think they need to upgrade the head coaching position before they can.
That might be fair. Yeah. It might be impossible to upgrade key player positions without having a head coach that's able to handle that.
Right.
So. Let's hit the NFC South, our last division on the NFC side.
Yep.
I went 2 for 4 here. A little bounce back. From the East and the North, I went 0 for 8. Real rough between those divisions for me. Real rough. So for the South, Falcons, I had them going 8-8. I thought they showed some really solid pieces. I just we all knew they were lackluster overall talent-wise, but they had some pieces.
Yeah.
They ended up going 4-12. They definitely took